So, today we are talking about practical ways to defeat porn. So, first to start off, we're going to go over what is pornography. I'm sure all of you at least know what it is or have come in contact with it. Most kids, I think, have encountered pornography in some fashion by the time they're 12, which is a little gross, just saying. Yeah, really early in life. So, what is pornography? Things that aren't specifically labeled as pornography can be pornographic. Think about, there's movies, TV shows, books, social media, video games. What about like the 50 Shades movies? Those are entirely pornographic. Gross. Grand Theft Auto, that's just porn you can play with. More gross. Books. I know that books are more popular in the female side of things than with guys, because guys are more visual people. So, things that aren't specifically labeled as porn can be porn. Anything we put into ourselves has an effect on us. If you're using something to make yourself feel fulfilled romantically or sexually, it's unhealthy. Not just in the case of pornography. I have a bad habit of using things to make myself feel better. That's one of the reasons that I had an issue with porn, because I felt lonely and it made me feel better in the moment. If you're using food to make yourself feel better, that also is unhealthy. Exercise. If the only way you feel good about yourself is if you're wearing makeup, that's also not healthy. People are meant to be enjoyed, to be precious and wonderful as God created them, not consumed. Pornography changes your perspective of people from the wonderful, enjoyable people that God made to objects, something to be consumed like snacks, which is not what is on purpose. So, that is the difference between what is the porn mentality and healthy sexuality. So what does porn use do to you? It gives you a whole lot of unrealistic expectations. Expectations of what sex is like, of what people's bodies should look like, or what they should do. It changes how you look at people, and it changes how you view yourself, especially in relation to how you feel about your physical self. It makes you feel like you have something that you have to live up to or you're not good enough. It can cause issues when it is actually time to be intimate with someone as God designed it to be, because what it does is it rewires your brain to think, this is what sex and intimacy is like, and I need this to enjoy sex and intimacy. I have to have porn to enjoy it, which is not what God intended. It's an addiction. What it does is it trains your brain to release oxytocin, which is the happy hormone, whenever you're watching pornography. So then you need it to have oxytocin, and that can lead to lots of problems, including depression, because you're not getting oxytocin how your body was designed to produce it. And you have to consume more and often more obscene porn to get the same kind of quote-unquote high. And it changes what God designed to be into something that is cheap and meaningless. Just like rom-coms and romance books are unrealistic expectations of romance, porn is an unrealistic expectation of sex and intimacy. And intimacy as God designed it is infinitely better. So, what is real life like instead of porn use? One is realistic and one is unrealistic. One is actual enjoyable intimacy versus masturbation and loneliness. That's masturbation and pornography made me feel more lonely than I already was. Real life, as God designed it, gives you a healthier relationship to your body instead of trying to live up to porn stars and the depravity of the internet. And one makes you feel valued and loved instead of feeling like you have to do it just right or good enough for someone to care about you. It gives you a healthy enjoyment of your spouse versus an unhealthy addiction and reliance on the internet. It often takes quitting using something unhealthy to realize just how much of a negative impact it has on you. Really simple analogy, I currently don't eat gluten. And for a long time I ate it a lot. I love pasta, so good, amazing stuff. And when I quit, I was very sad because you can't eat the good bread and pasta. Last Christmas, I made gingerbread cookies. They were delicious. Entirely wrecked me in a half hour. It was awful. I didn't know it was doing so much damage to my body until I hadn't eaten it in 2 years. Pornography does the same thing. You often don't realize what it does to your brain until you stop using it. Pornography makes your normal unhealthy. So, what are the steps to quitting porn? There's only two steps I have here, and they're fairly simple. The first one is make the choice to quit. I'm gonna go cold turkey, and let me tell you, you have to go cold turkey because if you don't, all you're doing is making yourself think about when you can have it next. Okay, I'm gonna go 3 days. Okay, now it's day 3. Okay, then I'm gonna go 4. And all you're thinking about for those 3 or 4 days is, okay, in 2 days I can do it again. Quitting has to be a change in mentality. It is a choice. The second step is accept the choice you've made and move on with your life. Don't dwell on that you can't consume it anymore. You have to learn how to interrupt the hamster wheel of thought. The wheel of, it's all you can think about. You have to learn how to derail the train off the train tracks. And I'm gonna tell you, you can't justify porn use. There is no good porn. We used to have a ministry here called Into the Light. There were a couple of ladies who would go into the strip clubs and we would bring treats and snacks to the dancers. And I remember talking with one of them. She was like, yes, me and my partner, we make homemade porn, and it's wonderful because we're educating people on what sex and intimacy should be like. That's crap. There is no good porn, it's all that. Because no matter the intent behind it, people don't consume it the way you intended. And really, there's no good intent behind pornography. So, now I have some tools to help you quit. The first one is get some help. It's really hard to do it on your own. I did, it was really difficult. I'm not saying that you should, I'm saying get some help, because it's a lot harder. The first person you can go to is always God. He's always with you. Matthew 19:26 says, Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. The Holy Spirit is your constant companion, and He is our helper. He will help you, He will be with you. The next people you can go to is your pastors, your youth leader, your parents, your peers. But you have to be wise and choose healthy people to help you. Preferably, if at all possible, someone of your same gender. And here is why. Well, not the why for the same gender, but hiding something like porn keeps it having a hold over you. I didn't tell anyone about my porn use for 3 years after I quit. I quit when I was 19 years old, and I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't even tell my husband until we were talking about doing The Naked Truth the first year. And I was 22. I know, I'm super young. We were over there talking after a youth leader meeting, and I was talking about it with Ben. And that was the first time I'd ever told anyone. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell any of my siblings. I didn't tell my husband. It was the first time he heard about it. And it held so much power over me for so long because I felt shame. And the first thing you can do to help it not have power over you is tell somebody. Because when you talk about something that you feel shame about to healthy people, it starts to lose its power. Why do you think I'm talking to you guys? Ecclesiastes 4 says, 2 are better than 1 because they have good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for no one will help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Get some support. We all need people to support us in every phase of our lives, especially when we're dealing with our issues. Make sure you choose wise people, because if someone is encouraging you to have an unhealthy habit, they do not have your best interest at heart. Be aware of peer pressure. I'm sure for most of you, the first time that you encountered porn, someone you know showed it to you. That is peer pressure. If someone is encouraging you to use something unhealthy, it's probably not a good friendship. Proverbs 13:20 says, "He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed." So here's my second tool. Get rid of whatever you use to consume porn as much as possible. You do it on your laptop, leave it out of your bedroom. Tell your parents and have them put something on your computer. Leave your phone outside of your bedroom. Get rid of your books if you read books. Take social media off your phone if that's how you consume pornography. TV and movies, find something different to watch. I watch a lot of cooking shows. They're pretty cool. Really hard to have porn in a cooking show. The third tool, find healthier ways to spend your time, but be aware of swapping one addiction for another. If your problem is porn, don't just switch to playing video games 24/7. 8 hours of Minecraft in a day is still unhealthy. I know. So, finding healthier ways to spend your time. Play cards with your friends and family. Learn to play Risk. Play Settlers of Catan. Takes a ton of time, and you're really tired afterwards, or at least I am. Learn a new skill. Take up knitting, it's fun. Try sewing. Cooking is also fun, and it's a useful skill. Go for a walk. Do something to change what your mind is thinking about. Spend time with other people. Don't spend time alone. It's really uncomfortable to try and watch porn with other people. Your next tool, if possible, identify when you use it the most and do something different. You always consume it before bed? Leave all of your things outside of your bedroom. Turn on worship music. Do your devotions before bed instead. If it is helpful for you, find something that is a reminder of when you quit. Write the date somewhere on a sticky note and keep it on your bedroom door so that you have a reminder, this is the day I chose to quit. It is a reality that sometimes we go back to bad habits. So what do you do if you go back to using porn? This is not an encouragement to use porn again, just to put that out there, but accept it's a possibility. And if you go back, start the process over again. Try a new tool, get some more support. A reminder of Ecclesiastes. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. The easiest and best thing you can do is to tell somebody, because that will help you start. Ask for help. Asking for help when you have a struggle is really hard. Jesus taught me that lesson in a really uncomfortable way, with something entirely different. But asking for help is a skill, and it's really important. And understand that once you talk to somebody about it, it doesn't have a hold over you anymore. Talk to Pastor Ben. Talk to one of your youth leaders. We're here to support you guys. We can get you tools. We can help. But you also have to choose for yourself that you're going to be done. Because it is something you have to do for yourself. It is something that you have to do for yourselves. And also for whomever you end up with long term. Because you using porn also affects your future relationships. Changes how you think about your spouse. Changes how you view people. especially when you're getting into relationships. If you are constantly thinking about people as objects to consume, when you go to find your person, they're going to be an object. They're not going to be a person. So do it for you, do it for other people, and get yourself some